And you guys, welcome back. Now, I'll leave it up to the actors in question. We've actually already run the MK Improv intro that Matt Smith, a.k.a. 5 has so expertly done. I don't know if you guys want to do the scene now, at the end of the show. It is actor's choice.
Well, before we get into the scene...
We have a scene. I didn't know we had a scene, but that's great.
You know who wrote it is Matt, 5. He sent it, yes.
It's fantastic. He is amazingly talented.
I like a man of all seasons.
It's so good. I'm just getting into character a little bit here. And Baker, do you just want to tell the world where you're staying? Because your coffee cup reveals it. Unless you wanted me to think you were staying there.
Exactly.
And so
Very
you
smart.
just stopped in to get coffee at a different hotel bar.
Do you really? Well, exactly. Do you really think that I would stay at the Hard Rock? Do I?
Honestly, I was surprised when I saw that.
You trailing someone that would be at the Hard Rock, put it that way. Yeah, that guy, that seems like a...
You're trying to seem like an everyman, staying at the Hard Rock.
You know, I have a theory because I know the place that you used to stay at all the time. So I won't say the name, but I'll do a rhymes with Fuse. Because I remember you used to say there all the time.
I did. You know what? It's actually interesting because Fox uses different hotels, right?
That's where Fox would put
Right, and so Fox
All
would
right, so I can say that because it's not, you're not there.
But I never stayed there.
Oh, I thought you did.
No, never.
Oh
stayed
no,
there.
he would
Never
tell
stayed there.
me that he was staying there.
Yeah.
I got you. I got you.
Yeah. Well, that's
Well,
again. That's covered.
What else am I thinking that was in that area that was like? Well, I guess you don't want to say it, but that was sort of like your. There was one place
really
that you
stayed
always stayed at.
Yeah, I'd say there's a lot of good hotels down there. The Chat Wall,
Good deflection.
great hotel.
Have I been there? The Chat Wall?
Yeah. They've got they got a good bar.
The thing is, when you live in New York City, you don't often stay in the hotels.
Oh yeah, totally.
So I can't really tell
There's
you.
no reason, there's no reason to spend a lot of money on a hotel in New York because you're never going to be there anyway.
Unless you've lost hot water.
She.
Move in.
Well, that's why you belong to a Planet Fitness.
This is a.
Truly, it's why I have the black card, so I can shower and use the bathroom anywhere.
Yeah, there is not.
You wash clothes in there as well, just like in the shower.
No, they have signs that try to prevent that.
She's got like a shit bingo in Manhattan where she will just mark off. I think she's proudly covered every area because Planet Fitness is everywhere, people.
And the saddest thing is I continued to pay for that black card through the entire pandemic.
Douglas did not like that.
He got so mad.
Yeah.
It's my money.
That was her only argument, but it's still a good argument.
I did the same thing during the whole pandemic. It didn't even occur to me that I was still paying my gym fees.
Yeah, I know.
And and then finally, because she's so smart, she goes, I think you should probably go in and talk to them and try to get that recovered, right?
Yeah.
And as it turns out, I think I was the only person who was doing that. Everyone else was smart enough to cancel their membership.
That surprises me.
Yeah.
You were keeping them afloat. How does that
exactly.
feel?
Yeah, you were helping the Mod Pod gym.
Exactly.
It was community service,
It's
really.
the wheels of the small business community that I was turning.
See, that's I like to think that I'm alone, but I'm not lonely. But the one really appealing thing to having a girlfriend or a wife to me would be just someone who could somehow have control of the finances.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
good God. I mean, that would change my life dramatically. But
I have ceded all control to Em because she's so smart. She's incredibly organized, and I'm not really. And it's also just not something I'm good at is finances and.
I'm fucking terrible. Yeah.
I assume you don't have much room to think about that because you're thinking about a whole host of other things.
Other things, like. Well, yeah, exactly. I'm doing that.
Well, you would always, I remember back in the Red Eye days, when you talk about some of the monotony of the agency was that you found yourself a lot of times just doing the expenses.
Oh, shit, yeah.
And I started thinking about it. There've got to be mountains of them.
Yeah, don't fuck up the
amount
receipts.
Of travel and oh, good God.
Don't fuck up your receipts. Don't fuck up your cash box.
Yeah.
Don't. You always got to make sure everything's right because, you can do a lot of things. You could overthrow a small country successfully, but if you don't keep the receipts and submit your accounting,
Mine version of that is far less sexy, but in the final days of when magazines were still doing okay, they would allow you to expense anything, but as a result, looking back, the amount of time it took, it occupied, not the story, but just everything involved in the story, expense-wise, just up to here, and it's just
back when magazines meant something. Back when
they existed, basically. Yeah.
The only place they exist still is in airports, right? In the the Hudson News and those places. You walk in and you go, I didn't even know that still was operating, right?
They're also like $7.99 for a magazine, and you're like,
It's ridiculous.
I'll buy a book.
Yeah, but all Ann Coulter cares about is placement in airports. So not only that she's in airports, but like she's got to have the mug right by when you're walking by, and like to the point where she'll talk to them and stuff like that. Very embarrassing. But yeah, that airports are huge, and especially now when you consider how stuck people are at airports. That I wonder if that even affects the economy a little bit, where sales go up just because
they do that thing now where you can buy and then return. I don't quite understand that, right? So you buy a book and you return the book at another airport or wherever you are. And
oh my God,
I'm not even sure how that business model works.
I was going to say that.
That's a library.
That's right. That is pretty much what they used to call it. But it's, that's not something that people have to worry about with my book. Because
yes. Okay. I didn't have that in the intro. My fault. Okay, so you are actually here in New York, shockingly, not just to see us. Let's discuss.
Yes, there's and I just realized walking in here that I've been so freaking preoccupied that I forgot to send the cover art to the guys so they could like put the cover art of the book up on the screen.
We can do that next week unless it's available currently on the old Google sphere, but we'll throw it up there for you.
I'm sure if you Googled Scribd, Scribd, which is the Netflix of books.
Yes.
If you Googled Scribd and Baker, you'd probably come up with the company rules book.
I bet you we could
because it's everywhere. But it's an audio book or an ebook. I don't know what an ebook means, but it's an audio book.
It's like a book with a lot of E's in it.
Oh yeah. Just
an inordinate amount of vowels.
It's hard to write a book.
Emphasize the E's.
Yeah, it's the long E, and so it's an audio book, a very easy listen, and it's available starting as of yesterday. The 18th of January was released.
Fucking hell,
Super
man.
exciting.
That was quick. I'm impressed.
I know. Well,
and I have to tell you, you got a voice for the audiobook.
Oh, I know. Don't I say? I'm trying it right now. I'm trying to be really smooth and soothing.
I am curious. My favorite word from inception. This idea you had to do this book to now, how long did it take?
Yeah, about 15 years.
Okay, not quick at all.
Not quick at all.
I retract that statement.
Didn't just happen. Actually, what happened was, I had the idea because by that time I'd kind of gotten the business where it had its own pulse and it was going well.
Look, there it is.
And
now we got it.
That's what happens when you have an audio book. That's the sort of cover art you get because it's not like a physical book that you're going to walk around carrying.
It is a really good idea. Yeah. I mean, that's something people are going to buy. You know, I mean, and again, as we've discussed ad nauseum, the only thing selling these days are self-help, self-improvement. Getting something out of it. I hate to say it, fiction's going the way of the dodo, and the dodo didn't used to be fiction. But people just aren't buying novels anymore.
I know, and this can help you not only in business but in life.
There it is.
Yeah. And so I don't even know what that means. But so I had the idea, and then talked about it, kind of wrote down the thoughts, and it was going to be much more. It was going to be more about agency and sort of hardline business, and it was going to be more. It was going to actually be a big book. And then I realized I'm not capable of doing that. And so
also, you don't have the time.
I didn't have the time. That's a good excuse for me to say that.
Say that, yes.
So set it aside. And then eventually the folks that represent me, Ken Slotnick, the greatest, who heads an outfit called AGI Entertainment, he said, you know what? This thing, it's a great idea. Why don't we, take it? Scribd was terrific. Scribd was amazingly buttoned up in terms of just, here's the process. Let's make this happen. Let's do this. And then the whole process was very simple, except for the actual putting thoughts down on paper.
Yeah.
That was a little difficult.
Choir preaching.
But it's about business. It's not about the agency, right? Because I don't think anybody needs another book about, here was my time at the agency. And plus I don't think you need to open your yap and talk about things like that. So this is literally this. There's not like a series of company rules that they give you when you sit down and start with them. It's not like that. It's just ideas that I took away, and other people who were there, I'm sure, took their own ideas away. But these are mine, and I think they can be helpful to people.
Give us one thing that you've learned that might apply to, say, two co-hosts, varying ages, looking to sort of expand the product, so to speak. Perhaps, I don't know, wherever people will pay us a whole bunch of money, wherever we can get more eyes on the prize, all that. A fake, just weird version of that.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist in reality.
just something
Look at
like
your
that.
faraway look.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of, I can't imagine that there is one principle in there that will help a duo like that. I'm kidding. One example.
What if they morph into one thing?
Oh, God.
Oh, you got to quit. No, you got to put that, turn that down.
For you, I will.
That's better. That was Joe. So that's okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It really is amazing. I didn't know you
I
could
had to
do
put it
that.
over here because she was getting freaked out.
Yeah.
I would do that if it was my face and my golden retriever Hendrix's face. Right?
Aw,
that would be,
that's
yeah, that would.
I
be
hope
cute, yeah.
Flow Motion is watching right now. He's the guy. Yeah.
So, but things like know your operating environment, right? So what I mean in the old days in the outfit that has obvious operational connotations in real life life and death concerns. You've got to know where you're operating. But in business, it actually has the same, and that's kind of what I'm trying to explain to people in this book is, those worlds, just like a lot of other things, they're not really that different. It's not like the spy world is not like Jack Bauer and 24 and all that. Shit's not blowing up all the time, and if it is, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Right? So, but the world of business turned out to be remarkably similar in the sense that whoever's got the best intelligence, whoever's got the best information, typically wins, right? And it doesn't have to be that much better. So just a little bit better. So knowing your operating environment in the business world means, who's your competition? What's the playing field look like
Everyone.
wherever you're operating? Knowing your the motivations of your staff, of your shareholders, of your investors. There's a lot too, but it's
We have investors?
Yeah, you've got investors, don't you? No, I'll go.
Depends on how you want to look at subscribers.
All
Hey,
right,
hey,
never-
staff, Bobby and Steve, how you feeling?
See.
I'm checking in.
Well, I was going to say, when was the last time you had a sit down and a 360 with the staff, right?
A 360?
Well, you talk about how they're feeling.
Your mind went to a terrible place.
Sounds vaguely sexual.
We never 360 Baker ever.
Yeah, no, I know. Well, it's not. I'm not talking about a circle jerk. I'm talking about. I'm talking about.
I'm talking about a circle jerk. Guys, what are you doing afterwards?
It's a circle full of jerks, I'll tell you that much.
Oh, good Lord. Joanne, Ma.
Anyway, oh my God. So yeah, but thank you for letting me shill on the book there and just talk.
No, well, and first of all, I love the information thing. When I used to care, and again, editors used to pay me, I would go into an interview knowing way too much about the subject because I'm not that good at what I do, but like my favorite ad campaign of all time, where you got these two people on a beach, and then in the middle of it, you're showing all these amazing things you can do in the Bahamas, and they're still on the beach, and at the end of it, it goes, the Bahamas. You don't have to do everything, but it's nice to know it's there. And that I thought was brilliant. It's the same thing with information. Yeah. As long as you got it, you're going to sleep well at night, and all these stupid questions, you throw them out because it's all up here. So whatever they talk about, you're going to know it. And it's just so comforting. The information is comforting.
You could write that. Information is comforting. Comfort of information. You could write that book.
Well, by the way, I bet you the copyright or trademark, whatever it is, on the Bahamas theme, I bet you that's out. I'm sure that was that 30-year-old commercial, so we could maybe even use it.
It really made an impact on you.
Oh, it certainly did. I thought it was a brilliant ad campaign. That and you're turning into your parents, my two favorite ad campains. The guy that helps them.
Oh, the insurance guy?
Yeah.
Or whatever it is he does.
Yeah. The latest one where he's approaching him like a tiger. Hey, what are you doing there?
Have you seen the one in the elevator?
Yes.
It's fantastic.
Wait, what's this one? I don't
You've
know
seen
this.
him. He looks like a dad, but his job is young people turning into their parents to prevent them from doing
But
that.
what's the elevator one?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. I don't want to. These poor
I'll look
guys were
for it
asking him to
later.
find ads now, but like when the guys, what are you doing there?
Yeah. The guy turns around.
Cleaning my trash cans.
Guy turns around in the elevator and faces everybody who's facing towards the door. Just kind of like smiles. How you doing? Is everything
Wearing a
good?
Paris sweatshirt. Ooh, Paris. Bonjour.
I've responded well to the airport one. Should have gotten here earlier when you see someone running down the terminal.
I brought snacks.
Then we do have to get to our scene, Bill.
Circle of truth.
Well, yeah, we got. I don't.
Yeah, we got
think it's
time.
10 minutes.
Oh,
We
Bill.
got time. You know what? I'm going to do this blind. It's going to be just like a read-through.
Well, that's why I didn't
walk
send
in,
it to
sit
you.
down. Exactly.
I know. I knew that. By the way, first of all, like you would have read it if we sent it to him. Let's be honest.
Yes, how much research have I done over the years prior to any event?
It's actually kind of impressive.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
can't
want to be
find-
like the person who like I want to experience the show like the audience does. I don't want to know what's coming ahead of time, right?
Yeah.
So when you send the stories and you think, I'd rather just.
Let me tell you, sometimes when I receive an email of audition sides, the first time I read it, I'm like, oh, instinctually, right? I know exactly how it's supposed to go. And then the more I look over it, the more I second guess myself.
Yeah.
And then I get in my head, and the performance is not as great as that first time I read the email. So I think your tactic is good.
That's like the time that the Brady Bunch we're going to do an advertisement, a TV ad.
Wait, really?
And they were perfectly
exactly what you're
natural.
talking
They were
about.
perfectly natural, and then they brought an acting coach in, and they all became very sort of like over the top. Check out that episode; it's fantastic. Marcia, Jan, they're wonderful.
All right. I will. Okay.
When trust isn't broken, the average person has 5 people they can truly lean on for anything. A new survey of 2,000 Americans, our favorite amount, gauges gratitude for the relationships in their lives. And it reveals that 7 in 10 are more thankful for the people in their life this year than ever before. No, wait. See, I hate these headlines because they never get to the crux of the article.
Well, it's good because
Good communication. Okay, half of respondents say it's hard to form a good partnership with people outside of their circle. And a similar percentage say this only gets more difficult as they get older. That's at around 51%, reaching peak difficulty to do so in their early to mid 40s. 51% attribute the closeness of their relationships to technology. Sharing it allows them to express appreciation for the people in their lives.
Wow.
Where else?
I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
Basically, we just want to ask you about the people that you trust. Do you find it easier to trust someone who has also been in the CIA, or less so because you think maybe they're not showing you everything?
That's an interesting question. I to be honest with you, with the exception of a couple, my closest friends weren't in the agency.
There you go.
Interesting.
But that's only because, I consider that my closest, obviously, my wife. I know I can count on my boys and my daughter for anything, right? Even though they're, the boys.
Now, with you name them
young.
Sluggo, they're going to be very angry at you.
Oh, you can't.
Yes.
No, Sluggo in particular, man. That dude. He's either going to use his powers for good or evil when he gets older. But but they're all just the sort that you just can tell. And then I've got obviously my brothers. And when I expand that out and I look at my friends, I think most of them were not in the agency. They really. But I like the fact that it says that the average person has 5 people. I wouldn't have actually gone that high, right? I wouldn't have said that the average person has that many people that they can lean on.
I actually think that number's probably gotten lower as families have gotten smaller.
That's a good point.
Because I'm sure most of it is family related, although people do have issues with their family. But and we noted the fact that I can think of someone who you were very close with at the CIA, but it's interesting to note that you are no longer with that person in the CIA in the form of your first wife, right? So I wonder if there's a leaning on factor there.
Well, no, but she's a great person. I mean, she's that's all kidding aside. That I've never been one of those people that gets into sort of the denigrating your ex because
bad medicine
she's a great
there.
Person.
Yep.
Yeah. And so, but I think that. But I think the boys, the brothers, and then I do have. I mean, I've got guys that I know that I could turn to, and just like I would for them, there is no doubt, right? They would the trust and the bond there is really tight, and that is an important. So I love the story because at the end of the day, that's all you got. You got your health, and you got the people you know. I mean, that's.
Bill, you're 0 for 2.
He's just look at that face. We should just zoom in on that face.
I'm
Stay
sorry.
That's all right.
But I want to know these friends that you can lean on. At what stage in your life did they come into your life? Was it people from when you were younger who knew you before, sort of, your, high esteem and celebrity? Or was it friends through your wife, like couple friends or other parents? Like at what stage?
No, it is. I know almost nobody from my younger days, right?
Oh, wow.
I mean, they've closed every school I ever attended.
Are you the common thread?
Yeah, they just followed in behind my leaving and just shut it down and said, that's it.
Closed or expanded?
I admire people who have, like, I know a bunch of folks who have, like, friends from their elementary and middle school and high school days, right? And they're still tight and they still get together. I don't have that, right? Which is
The older I get, the less. Yeah.
So I've got a circle of folks that I knew from the old days with the outfit where, so now if I think about it, a lot of those guys were there. They're not there now. They moved on or whatever.
Right.
And but I think probably those close you know what? Actually, I've done it. I've been pretty fortunate. 20s, 30s, 40s. And I'm 48 now, so. So
I wasn't gonna say anything.
I'm not sure how the 50s are going to play out, but anyway, so yeah, but it is interesting. But again, I tell my boys this all the time when they're beating the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
Is that down the road, eventually, you got each other, right? And if you're fortunate, yes, you have friends you can count on, but that family bond,
When you get bed bugs on your 5th floor walk up, who is going to drive in from Jersey to come upstairs to help you steam your clothing you can't throw in the washer? A sister.
That is very oddly personal.
Who's then going to drive you home but make you sit on trash bags in her car and then make you immediately strip out her door and throw your clothes in the washing machine before you stay over to get away from the bed bugs? Your sister.
That part rings true right there. I'd make a little outhouse for Jonathan and Alfred if they had the bed bugs. I'd help them a little.
A little.
But outhouse, yeah.
We should have a whole segment on bed bugs. Yeah, that's.
I don't hear as much about them anymore.
The fucking worst.
There was a time, it was almost like a pre-pandemic plague upon New York where you couldn't go a block without seeing 5 mattresses.
Yeah.
Oh, man. And it was, and it is oddly dipped, or just maybe people have so many problems they don't talk about it anymore.
People are like, this won't kill me, so.
Yeah, that's why it used to be so much fun finding a good deal amongst the trash of the very rich in New York. Can't do that anymore.
No.
But all right, well,
That's
listen,
good advice.
we have
kids don't pick up any used mattresses on the side of the road. That's not.
I get it. They look amazing. There's a reason they're out there. All right, well, we have 2 tours here, and we have a new, finally, MK Improv scene for a show that has yet to exist. Should we make this our The More You Joe? We could just, since we've already done the MK Improv opener, this will be our More You Joe. How about that?
I haven't seen the opener.
It's the same one.
Oh, okay.
We just, you know what? He 5 Fed said it to me. He's like, oh, it's been updated. I'm like, oh, there's gonna be some new stuff in it. He just changed it to Goodheart from No Such Insky. There we go.
There we go.
It makes my head hurt.
Oh, no, it's still.
Oh, well, we do have a Goodheart one. I gave them the wrong one. There's no other difference, I don't think. Look.
Very talented.
There's the updated.
Very
New
talented.
graphic.
Oh. Very talented. Yeah,
I could stare at that all day.
All right.
All right.
And scene. Let's go.
Have you read this before?
I have.
Oh, look, of course she has. Look at the background.
This is our set.
All right. Okay. All right. In 3, 2, 1. All right. Our target, Vladimir Popov. He's a hardline Russian looking to get his hands on enriched uranium, of course, with the goal of starting World War III.
Ugh, they're always trying to do that.
And we have to keep stopping him. We'll be going undercover inside his operation in order to get close. So, I trust you've been studying the dossier?
It's all up here. I'm actually really excited to go. You know, I'm part Ukrainian. I did one of those DNA tests through the mail.
Yeah, that whole system has really helped fill out our database.
Ooh, can we stop by Chernobyl on the way? I've always wanted to visit. You know, I played Melting Corpse #3 on the HBO show, but we didn't shoot there. It's all green screen these days.
Oh, God. That wouldn't be advisable, what with the war and all.
That's still going on?
Yeah. We're gonna use that chaos now, hopefully, to slip in and out.
Oh, that reminds me. I brought the disguise I put together. Give me a sec.
There's an Allison Brie community enthusiasm that she brings to the character that I enjoy.
Oh, God. Joe, look, the agency usually provides the disguises when necessary. We actually, in case you don't know, we have an incredible team that can really transform.
Comrade, have you seen Josie? That's Suka. She stole my vodka.
So you're looking to go undercover as a man?
Yeah, men get all the best parts. Brilliant!
And you think that disguise is going to work?
Why, do the CIA have better mustaches?
Well, the quality of the mustache isn't really the problem.
Well, I'm thinking this will be good, because once old Vlad gets a look at me, he'll think, why am I attracted to this man? Start questioning his own sexuality, dropping his guard. That's when you sneak up behind him and do your thing with the stabbing or the piano wire.
The garrote? Yeah. I actually have one in my watch. It's quite handy.
See? Oh, this is going to go off without a hitch. But just in case things do go sideways, we will have air support, right?
Yeah, don't worry. I know a guy. And
We might not have prepped the booth for Garrett's appearance.
We usually have a video of Garrett doing a line from Top Gun, but
of course,
here he
yeah.
is.
I just want to serve my country, be the best fighter pilot in the Navy, sir.
If we don't get a screen grab of the three of you with that mustache and Steve right before Garrett covers him, I don't know what's wrong with the world. I'm impressed, guys.
yeah, I tell you what, I gotta give you credit. I know.
This is so sticky.
Yeah.
Let's watch her rip some skin.
This is.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Scene.
Wow, that was great.
All right,
I think not only that screen grab with the mustache, but just the audio of Joe saying, "This is so sticky," and we should just loop that.
There are so many gifs of just that. You have no idea.
Yeah.
Someone already retweeted her final words yesterday was just because we were talking about him so much. She just goes, Hitler, and that was it. And someone just made that a meme.
Oh my God! Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with saying a name.
Look, she condemned him. All right, well then, Joe, why don't you give your thoughts on the scene that you just did?
Yes,
For
okay.
the more you, Joe.
Baker, you are just so natural and one of my favorite scene partners.
Oh, well, thank you.
It's just like having a conversation. Also, if anyone else wants to write more, go ahead. I really prefer.
doesn't like doing it.
I prefer to perform someone else's work than my
What
own.
an independent lady.
Selfless.
Yes.
Yes.
Is that empowered?
Art is community based, okay? It's collaborative. So let's do it. Oh no.
Oh, we did side-eye Joe.
Joanne Goodhart Company rules. So now here's the thing. Baker did this audiobook, but in reality, I wrote the goddamn thing first.